Buongiorno e buonasera. Hello and welcome to the kickoff of the 2018 Putnam County Columbus Day festivities. My name is Giulio Cefaloni. I am the president of the Italian American Club and the chairman of these festivities this year once again. This evening I will be your host. We are indeed delighted to be producing this show again this year. We hope you enjoy getting to know our marshals. On behalf of our sponsor, the Italian American Club of Mayapack, I would like to extend a warm welcome to you all. And now, please welcome the Vice President of the Italian American Club, Joseph Fierro. Joe will speak to you about our club. Joe?
Good evening. Buonasera, everyone. I'm Giuseppe Fierro, Vice President of the Italian American Club, and I'm honored to be among you tonight to witness the culinary display of our wonderful honorees. The Italian American Club of Mayapack is celebrating its 90th year anniversary this year, and we want to make it a very special year. The club was formed 90 years ago by Italian families who worked in the area to help support some of the other families who were going through some rough times. The working families would gather at one of the houses of the members, and all would donate some money to a kitty that would go to the families in need. The club building was built really as a need by the members of the club using their construction skills to create this wonderful building still standing today. The building was used at first for funerals, weddings, basketball games, or whatever occasion needed by club members and families in need. The club had its ups and downs over the years, but many improvements occurred from the early 1980s until today, with the complete renovation of the basement, addition of the commercial-type kitchen, generator system, bocce court, and many more projects. About 20 years ago, the club started celebrating Columbus Day festivities, with the main attraction being the parade along Route 6. As part of the festivities, Grand Marshals and honorary Marshals are elected to lead the way of our parade. There is also an annual dinner dance that celebrates the Grand Marshals and honorary Marshals with music and dance, usually at a local catering hall. We also hold a pageant for Miss Columbus and Miss Little Columbus, so that the winners get to be honored and march in our parade. Over the years, there have been Italian classes at the club to promote and teach the language to the younger people in the area. We also hold many other special events, such as the St. Anthony and Padre Pio Mass and San Giuseppe Mass. We hold a concert with tenors and special guests as part of the Columbus Day festivities to promote the Italian music and our beautiful culture. We also have a piazza night in the center of Mayapack with music, dance, Italian food provided by our local vendors and restaurants to celebrate our culture and traditions of Italy. We hold many other events during the year as fundraisers, such as our poker tournaments, our briscola tournament, homemade wine contests, Putnam Has Talent, concerts in the hall, such as the Elvis concert this year, and many, many more events. We have done many construction projects over the years, but this year, as a special project for the club to celebrate its 90th anniversary, we're building an ADA accessible handicap toilet on the main level of this club and looking to get funds for an accessible lift or ramp for the main level. The club has also fundraised for many organizations over the years, such as Drug Crisis in Backyard, Community Cares, Wounded Warriors, just to name a few. Our club has been very active in fundraising for Relay for Life and has been doing it for the last 20 years as one of the founding groups for the Relay in Mayapack. This year, we are fundraising for a special organization, United for Our Troops, who creates and mails care packages to our troops all over the world, especially to those who do not have family support. The group donates time and money to create special packages with letters and general household items that the troops are in desperate need of. As part of the Columbus activities, the Grand Marshals and Honorary Marshals prepare their family special recipes to share with all the members and community. The wonderful family traditions are passed along to all of us. This club creates social well-being for all our members and celebrates our wonderful Italian culture with the community. We gather as a family and invite the entire community to partake, just as my parents have done throughout their lives. I'm very proud of our Italian culture and our American pride. Auguri to all.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much. Very great summary of our club, what we're all about. Thank you. And now a few words in italiano. Ciao e benvenuti al nostro programma di Columbus Day qui a Putnam County. Ogni anno il club italo-americano di Meopac festeggia Colombo con tante attività. Speriamo che le feste di quest'anno vi piacciono. Venite a celebrare e a divertirvi con noi. Ciao e a presto. Now, to explain the festivities this year, every year around the festivities we create a theme to exemplify the festivities for the year. This year it's not any different, and this year it's a very special year. And here with me I have the chairperson of the Journal Committee, and she's also the corresponding secretary for the Italian American Club, Linda Cefaloni, who will explain to us what the festivities are all about this year. Linda?
Thank you, Giulio. Well, this year we're very happy to have a very special commemorative edition of our journal. And this is the front cover of our book. We're commemorating not only 90 years of the club's foundation, but also 30 years of parades, and also the year of the volunteer. We have been doing a lot of research, speaking to some of the original founding family members, and we're planning to have a centerfold that will explain the evolution of our club from 1928 to the present time. And also, we're very proud to have, as our Grand Marshals, two members, Mike Simone and Regina Marini, whose ancestors were founding members of this club. So we're very proud to have them as our marshals this year, Grand Marshals. On the front cover, if you can see, if we can get a little bit of a close-up, we have our club as it stands today. There have been multiple improvements on the outside as well as the inside, as Joe explained. We also have the commissioned statue of Christopher Columbus, which stands at our town hall. And that was one of the milestones of our club. And of course, we're very proud of our Italian-American heritage. So we have our flag, and of course, Columbus, whom we can thank for venturing out and in the spirit of discovery, finding the new world. So that's our front cover. On the back cover, we have the Year of the Volunteer. Mary Ellen Odell, our county executive, has declared this year as the Year of the Volunteer. And at the center, we have the tree of volunteerism, volunteer tree. And all the branches, as you can see, there's a hand. The body of the tree is a hand. So we lend a hand to one another. And that's how the tree of volunteerism goes on. And all the groups that we have supported and helped over the years, we have United for the Troops this year, Relay for Life, Drug Crisis, Wounded Warrior, Pajama Program, Community Cares, Scholarships, Women's Resource Center. We've given thousands and thousands of dollars to these organizations, as well as others like the Scouts, and food pantries, churches, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, veterans groups, the library, the hospital, hurricane relief. And all these organizations are in the body of the tree, which are supported by the people at the bottom, the members of the Italian American Club, which is symbolic, planting the seeds of volunteerism. It's a fitting theme because this club was built on the volunteer efforts. The original founding members, no one got paid. It took 4 years of dedicated service and commitment on their part. And the materials, the labor, everything was put together through their hard work and their commitment to each other. As Joe explained, it was a social club to help one another initially, but it branched out to being a civic organization that really contributes to the community. So our club is very proud of its past heritage. We support volunteerism. Our club stands as an example of commitment and dedication of volunteerism. And we can see that anything can be accomplished, as Jim can testify to our charity this year, that without volunteers, nothing could be done. And what we learn, what we get from it is that, teamwork, the spirit of community, just expands and goes around. So we are very, very proud to represent all these themes this year in our journal, and we hope you enjoy it.
So Linda, the overarching theme this year for the festivities is we are rediscovering the club, our club, 90 years old, through the years.
Correct. That's our sub-theme, Journey, a Journey Through the Years, the Italian-American Club, a Journey Through the Years. And we will trace that and all the milestones over those 90 years. And I'm sure it'll be an eye-opening experience because all the research we've done so far has been really revealing that we didn't even know that the club did so many things in the community, including when our hospital opened up, Putnam Hospital, that we were the first group to donate a pacemaker and video machines and for training, staff training and other things. So we're very proud and we're very happy to share that with the current membership and the community.
Thank you, Linda. You never cease to amaze me how creative you have been in creating that cover and the back cover. So congratulations to you, to the committee, and to the research committee that's been working with you. These efforts just don't happen by themselves. We began working on this journal and the entire festivities back in February. And now it's coming together. The committee is working very closely together to bring the book to fruition and to bring all the other activities, which we'll talk about in a moment, to fruition as well. So the overarching theme, a journey of the Italian-American Club of Mayapack through the years. And I'm looking forward to seeing a review of all that in the book. Now, this year is also a very, very special year because, as Linda and Joe mentioned, every year for the past 10, 12 years, I think, we espouse a charity, and most of the times a local charity. And this year, we are so fortunate to have made the decision to help out the United for the Troops organization. I don't think there's a worthier organization. And here with me this evening is Jim Ratsmith, one of the founders of United for the Troops. And I would like Jim to explain the mission, the activities of what this organization does. Jim?
Well, before I explain what we do, I have to congratulate you as a group and the Italian-American Club, listening to where it started, what it was all about, helping out other families, and developing into what it is today is just absolutely incredible, and I congratulate you on that. Mary Ellen did commit this year as the year of the volunteer, and without our volunteers, we can get nowhere. We are very fortunate to have over 1,000 people that have asked us to be on their mailing list. I mean, that's an incredible thing. And it's not a pat on the back of United for the Troops. It's a pat on the back of our community, where we live. I mean, we have an amazing place to grow up in and raise our children, and so many generations have been here. So a little bit about United for the Troops. We are all the volunteer committee group. We are a 501c3. And it started very lackadaisical for us. Our son joined the Army in the 82nd Airborne and was soon deployed to Iraq. And we were sending him gift boxes, which we thought all families were able to do. And he told us there were a lot of men and women over there that didn't have anybody. Maybe their families couldn't afford to put a box together. Some of these boxes cost $80, $90 with items in it. And then you have to pay for the mailing. And some of them had no families. They were 17 years old. So we sent over some envelopes asking them what they missed most. And it was really the things that we take for granted every day. It was things they miss most from home. Oreo cookies, soap, shampoos, razors, blades. And of course, some people get a little outraged. Don't they get all this? They get the basic necessities. But here we were gathering this stuff for them, getting letters from children and from people that couldn't get out of their houses, wishing them well, asking them to be safe and come home soon. So the first year after finding out about this, we sent over 200 boxes just by standing outside of supermarkets and churches. And we said, gee, that was a job well done. We were very excited about it.
I remember seeing you doing that.
You know, we were very proud to be in those cold, rainy days asking for pledges and for commitment. And people didn't know. They took us at our word that we were going to do what we said we were going to do. And so after we became a 501c3, which is a tax-deductible organization, as you know, we knew that we wanted to stay all volunteer. And we wanted people to know that every dime that came into United for the Troops went to United for the Troops. And it's been that way for 11 years. Everything in our boxes are donated. We don't go to Walmart and buy anything. Just think about, Mary Ellen Odell has given us, my friend, for the past 3 years, we have been guests at a 3,000 square foot office space that we use to gather our items and have small packings. We used to do this 3 times a year. Operation Cupid, Operation March in the Spring, and then our big one at Thanksgiving, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. We have now grown into the largest gymnasium in Westchester County. We have an online sign-up for that event that shuts down in 36 hours because we're only allowed 300 people. That's what our community wants to do. They want to get out and help. And we're not the only pony town show in town. These people go from different organizations. They're always helping. And I know that everybody here has been raised to be a giver. And we didn't even know it growing up. I mean, I didn't want to go to bingo with my mother and father, you know, and help clean up. But my kids did the same thing. And now their kids are doing the same thing. It's the seeds, these little 5-year-old kids that write a letter. And they put it in there. Dear Mr. American Soldier, please thank you for taking care of my mom and dad. And my grandma's not feeling good. And say a prayer for my dog. They get these letters and they open them up. And the letters we get back are incredible. Please go to our website, go to our United for the Troops sites. It's so self-explanatory. It's a beautiful thing. Having said that, we are proud to be a part of a community that has allowed us to send over 18,000 boxes and counting in 11 years. And if you figure it's about $70 a box of items inside, plus $15 for shipping, we're in the millions of dollars that has been donated. And we guarantee you and are very proud that every dime has come through United for Troops goes there. We have learned so much about the Italian American Club, coming to the Elvis concert, coming to the Little Miss American, Miss Italian American, and what was the other one I came to? Oh, the talent show. I couldn't wait to get here. We've had so much fun being a part of your organization, along with so many other organizations. But I have to tell you, this is a special place to be. And we are very, very honored to be a part of what you've been doing this year.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much. We are the ones who are honored to have you as our special charity this year. I've told you before, you do God's work. There's no better work that anybody can do than to take care of our soldiers abroad. So God bless you and your wife, Pat, and everyone that's helped you. I want to make a pledge to you. I pledge that the Italian American Club will help you next time you have a drive to actually work with you to bring whatever we can to send to our soldiers.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much.
You let us know, and we'll be
will.
there for you.
Thank you.
God God, they do God's work. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Thank you, Pat. And Luke, for putting, Luke is your son.
I'm very sorry. My wife could not be here. And you know, Patty, she's always in the background, but that background is involved doing so many things. We were trying to do a journal. God bless you, Linda. That's one obstacle that we just haven't got over, putting a journal together. But having said that, Patty is always with us, United for the Troops. We have 4 grandchildren that just came in from Arizona with their mom and dad. So not that you were not important, but she needed to be there with them tonight. So she says thank you very much
And
also.
you give her a big hug for us.
I will do that.
And you
Thank
give a big hug and a salute to your son.
Yes,
Luke,
thank you very
for
much.
us. Ladies and gentlemen, the Italian American Club every year pledges to help out these organizations that we have espoused over the years. And I pledge to you, Jim, that once our expenses, all the events expenses are paid for, we hope to contribute a substantial amount to your organization. So a very worthy cause indeed. Thank you very much again. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to go over a couple of key fundraisers and events that we're doing this year. On Saturday, August 18th, 4 to 10, we are going to have a Ferragosto evening in the piazza, and here is the poster for it. It will be at the Mayapack Chamber Park, downtown Mayapack. Italian music, Italian food. We have all kinds of things planned. Dancing groups. Just beautiful, beautiful night under the stars. That's August 18th, Saturday, August 18th. On Sunday, September 16th, 1:30, we have our gala dinner dance at Villa Barone right here on Route 6. The tickets are $90, open bar, cocktail hour, and basically an Italian wedding. So check out our website to get tickets, or I'll give you another way to get it in a minute. On Sunday, September the 30th, at 1:30, we have our great Putnam County Columbus Day Parade. And this year, as Linda mentioned, it is a very special parade. We are celebrating the 30th anniversary of the parade. So come out and join us, march. If you have an organization which would like to march in the parade, get in touch with me. Sunday, October the 7th at 12:30, we have a mass and a concert at St. John the Evangelist Church right here in Mayapack. We are going to have tenors singing. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Now, very difficult to remember all this. We do have a very beautiful website, Italian American Club of Mayapack.org. Again, Italian American Club of Mayapack.org. Please visit it, and everything is there for you. If you would like, you could give me a call. My cell number, 845-745-2655. I repeat, 845-745-2655. And I will be able to give you any information about all these events. We want to thank our partners for this year, for this year's festivities, the Greater Mayapack Carmel Chamber of Commerce, who is also holding a very exciting street festival on Sunday, September the 30th, starting at 11:30 and continuing the whole afternoon. There'll be music, fun, games, food, etc., downtown at the Chamber Park. Now, all these events will not be possible without the hard work performed by our big committee. We have a lot of people in the committee this year. We are indebted to them. Some of them are here. Rose Runco, B. Cefaloni, Sandy Calmergan. Let's see, who else is here? These folks up here that you see, we're all on the committee. And Nick Scafidi, our cameraman. I thank the entire committee for helping out in all these events. It would not be possible to do them without you. I do want to acknowledge Nick again. Special thanks to our cameraman, Nick, for filming us today. Please let me special thank you to Linda, Joe, and Jim for being with me today. Really, telling us about what the club is about, what we're doing this year, and explaining what this beautiful organization United for the Troops is doing. So, outstanding work, everyone. Thank you very much. We will take a short break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. My fellow citizens of our great mosaic we call America. Americans of Italian descent and heritage, like many other immigrant groups, continue to build the fabric of this country and contribute in every walk of life. It is no different here in Putnam County. Now, I would like to introduce some very special people here today, our 2018 Marshals. We will look at their bios and we'll just delve a little bit into their background and so you could get to know them. First, on my right, we have one of our great Grand Marshals this year, Regina Morini. Regina, born in Mayapack some years ago. I won't say when, because you're still a very young lady. She is the fifth of 7 children, correct? From Raymond and Teresa Costello. She grew up in a white house at the corner of Mount Hope Road and Kennecott Hill Road. She attended Lakeview School when Lakeview School was K through high school. It's still a beautiful school, overlooking the whole town. Regina is no stranger to this community because of her volunteering. I think, we ask people, what are your hobbies? I think Regina's hobbies are volunteering. Yeah. Let me just tell you a little bit about what Regina has done over the years. She was assistant county executive to David Bruin for 8 years, some years ago. When was that? What years were those? 1970? Okay. She served in the Putnam County Legislature for 18 years, starting in 1990. She is a member of the Lake Mayapack Rotary, first female president. You broke the glass ceiling, didn't you? A member of St. John the Evangelist Church. She's a Eucharistic minister. She has contributed to the Mayapack schools. She's been in the Garden Club, which beautifies our community. She is a member of the American Cancer Society and has done work for the American Cancer Society. She has been a trustee of the Putnam Hospital, the United Way, Mid-Hudson Library, and also the Mayapack Library, right. Our beautiful Mayapack Library.
Yes.
She is Italian by heart, by marriage, by spirit, any which way you want to say she's Italian. She was married to Nano. Nano was her heartthrob during the teenage years when she was growing up in Mayapack. Nano Morini, another well-known family in Mayapack. They were married in 1957. Regina's dad, Raymond Costello, was one of the first lawyers to hang up a shingle in Mayapack. He represented the Agor family, and the Agor family sold this property that we are standing out today to the members of the Italian American Club of Mayapack when they first started this club. His name appears on our deed. Our deeds, we have 2 of them. Nano's father started a construction company, Morini and Sons, which still exists today, and they actually helped to build this clubhouse. Regina you still reside in the same home that
Yes.
your husband built.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Regina has 3 children, Joan, Carol, and Paul. 8 grandchildren. You're a lucky woman.
Yes.
In 1990, Nano left Regina at the age of 55. A little too soon, I would say.
And very suddenly.
Yes. You were 54, and you miss him a lot. And you miss him a lot still today, I'm sure.
Yes.
Regina, tell us a little bit, what was it like growing up over here in the early years, in the 50s and in the 40s when you were growing up, around all these immigrant families that kept on coming up here from Queens, Bronx, Brooklyn, wherever they came from?
Well, a lot of them came right to Mahopac. My father-in-law, I have his trunk that he built in Italy, and it says right on it, Lake Mahopac. He came right here. They didn't come from the Bronx. They came from Italy to Mahopac.
Why?
Worked,
That's different from what a lot of immigrants have done.
but not that era. Most of them came that way here. And they worked on the railroad, or my father-in-law was a mason. He worked at the Valhalla Dam, or whatever it is there. And they were all down Bucks Hollow Road, to the right of this building, to the left of this building. And that's who my playmates were. I knew an awful lot about the Italians, and what I found puzzling at the time was a lot of them had difficulty speaking with each other because they had different dialects.
Yes.
They came from different parts of Italy, but they all got together and built this clubhouse. And this is where the action was. We used to come here for carnival nights. We'd all dress up and carry on. It was a lot of fun. Weddings were here. Of course, their meetings were here. The Women's Auxiliary had fashion shows here. This was the center of their community. And of course, the cooking was wonderful. Everybody had a garden. Everyone grew whatever they were going to eat. It was a happy time for them, I believe.
What were they like? Were they enterprising? Did they want to build a better future? What were they like, these people?
A lot of them came from Italy at that time because they were so poor there. They came for food. They came for work. And my father-in-law and his wife came, they hardly knew each other, and they came with not the language, no money, but they wanted a better life. And over here, they had their children in this country. But boy, did they work hard. It was just, they were wonderful Americans because they were so grateful for this country, how they could advance.
You said the magic word. They were wonderful Americans.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Even though they came from a country across the Atlantic,
But
they came here,
appreciated-
why? They wanted to become Americans?
Yes, they appreciated the freedom here, that you worked hard and you got something. You made something of your life, and you had a future for your children.
What kind of work did they do?
Masonry, mostly. I'd say most of them were in that field.
Are there things still standing today besides
Oh.
this building that they built?
Yes, I mean, as you said, my father's names are on most of the deeds, the old deeds in Mahopac, but my father-in-law has stone walls or fireplaces or all over town, and I can usually pick out what he did.
Now, some of the dams that we have here, because we have very
Yes,
beautiful,
yes.
rich lakes, which New York City owns, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful lakes, pure water. Some of those dams where they dammed the water, were they built by these Italian folks that came?
Yes, and by others. Some were built where people came, and the minute it was over, they moved on. But if there was work to be done, these people were always happy to work, very happy to have a job.
Now, what happened to the generation that was born here after they came? What did these children do?
It was very interesting. Most of them spoke Italian at home, and when they got to school, they spoke English. And so they went back and forth like that. And everybody, well, you could tell when it was the fall, they all smelled of wine and grapes. They all made wine in the cellar. Everybody did. Everybody had their own garden and did a lot of canning, and everybody raise chickens so they could have, that was their main meat was chickens. And of course the eggs all the time, but they were a close-knit community because they were all in the same area.
Now, it was a natural transition. I imagine a lot of these people came from farms in Italy, small
Yes,
farms.
yes.
Probably a lot of them from southern Italy, from Naples, Calabria, Sicily, Lazio. So a lot of them came from, middle to southern Italy. They came here from small farms. Was this a natural transition for them to come right
I
here?
think so. They knew what to do with soil and just started right in making their own food. It was wonderful food.
They felt right at home. Huh?
Oh, yes.
So how was life with you growing up here with all these other Italian-American teenagers?
There were more of them than really anybody else. The Irish hadn't come then. In Lake Secor, there were Germans.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, everybody was just American. And they took some time to assimilate, to speak proper English in school and whatnot. But they were always, they played football. They did everything everybody else did. It didn't, if you're born in this country, it doesn't take long to become very Americanized.
So they kept their heritage, they
Yes.
celebrated it,
Especially with their food.
especially with their food,
food.
but yet they assimilated into this country
Yes.
and they became Americans, true-fledged.
Yes.
Americans.
Very good Americans.
Wow. That's a beautiful story, Regina.
Oh, they were beautiful people.
They're beautiful people. That's wonderful. Now, besides all the volunteering that you do, which I have no idea where you find the time for, what other hobbies do you have? How do you keep occupied besides your volunteering?
I don't know. I never seem to be home. I've always done a lot of volunteering. It's, when you help someone, you get more out of it than they do, and you meet the nicest people volunteering.
Yeah.
If you need friends, just sign up somewhere, and you will make wonderful, wonderful friends.
That's great advice, Regina. Anything you want to leave us with before I move on?
No, I'm just so grateful to the club for all they've done, I've had a lot of fun here. They used to have clam bakes here, bocce ball going, horseshoes, all these things that we used to come and participate in. It was a great meeting place.
And we still do a lot of that stuff.
Oh, yes.
We haven't had a clam bake in a while, but we have parties, and we have
Yes.
bocce, we have lots of parties,
Yes.
and we help the community a lot too,
You
which is
certainly do. We're
our
very grateful.
which we're very proud of. Regina, thank you very much. You are a true gift to the community and
Thank
to
you.
us. Thank you for sharing.
Okay,
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me turn my attention to our second Grand Marshal, Michael Simone. Michael is no stranger to this town either. The family goes back a while. Let me talk about that a bit because I was very intrigued by that. The family is celebrating 100 years this year in settling in Mayapack. My God, 1918.
That's when Grandma
Mike.
and Grandpa got here.
Grandma and Grandpa got here in 1918. They came from Italy, Grandma and Grandpa, when they were 18, Grandpa 18 and Grandma 19. Interesting. They came from the Naples area. The dad had 8 children, and Andrew, which was
My father.
your father, was the 8th child.
Yes.
Mike's grandpa built a real estate company, and he was a builder.
He was a builder.
And did you guys know the Morinis? I'm sure they did.
I'm sure I know. My father and I knew them very well.
Very well, okay? Grandpa was instrumental in actually opening up a very old icon in Mayapack. Before Villa Barone, we had the Lombardi's dugout.
Yes.
So he was instrumental in building that. The family provided water to the Mayapack bungalows. They lived on the land. It was intriguing, very much like Regina's family. They grew everything on the land.
Oh, Grandma had garden and trees all around the house. I mean, the house was engulfed by a garden. And all she did was walk out the door and pick whatever she was going to
Pick whatever she wanted.
Yep.
So she had an organic supermarket in our backyard even before
organic was popular.
popular. 3 sons served in the Second World War. I think, Andrew, your father
Yes.
served in the European theater. He was wounded. He received 3 Purple Hearts, 1 Bronze Star, 1 Silver Star. Wow, what a hero we have here.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you brought them today, those stars.
I do not have them.
Oh.
My sister will not give them up.
She will not give them
we
up.
We have them all encased in glass. Yep.
Okay.
It's a great memory.
He escaped the Nazis a couple of times.
Yes.
They had him as prisoner of war. Mike has 3 sisters, and Mike, you have 2 sons, correct?
I have 3 sons.
3 sons.
I have 1 sister, 1 brother.
1 sister, 1 brother, okay? I stand corrected.
I'm the middle child.
You're the middle child. You better behave yourself then. Mike's hobbies. Again, he has a great hobby. He's a great golfer, okay? But his other hobbies are volunteering. He volunteers for everything under the sun. And let me just tell you what he volunteers for. He is on the Mayapack. By the way, yes, Mike volunteers for MSA, football, cheerleading. He's the pest director. He volunteers for the Prevention Council in Putnam. What do they do?
It's similar to Drugs in Our Backyard. We've been there a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about both alcohol and drug addiction, and
Okay.
we are the education arm for the county.
For the county.
Yep.
Mike volunteers for Community Cares. He's the treasurer. He also volunteers his services for the Westchester Putnam Highway Superintendent. He's the current president. Mike is also on the Board of Education of Mayapack. I sympathize with you, having spent 15 years there. You're a strong guy for being on that board. Mike is a graduate of Mayapack High School from 1971. He's grandfather to an 18-year-old.
18-month.
18 months. She feels like she's 18 years old, right? Sophia, named after Sophia Loren.
Yes.
Both parents, mother Eleanor Barrett and dad were Mayapack graduates, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
and my mother was valedictorian of the class of 1938.
1938, my goodness. You should know that Mike is very visible in the town of Carmel because he is the town of Carmel highway superintendent since 2000.
2000,
Right?
yes,
2000,
yes.
to the current year. And we hope that you stay in that job for another million years because you do a darn good job.
Thank you.
Michael is also a builder. He owns Enomi's Construction Company.
Yes.
What do you guys do there?
Oh, we built homes all around the area and some subdivisions. So
Very nice.
we along very good friends with the Marinis. And I will tell you that in building in all those years when we built, if the Marinis bid on the job, we didn't bid. If they knew we were bidding on the job, they didn't bid.
It was
It
mutually
a
understandable.
Mutual respect.
Mutual respect.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about you were born in Mayapack.
Yes.
So you're a native here. So tell us a little bit about your early years in Mayapack, surrounded by grandma, grandpa, uncles, aunts. Tell us a little bit
Well,
about that.
unfortunately, Grandpa had already passed, and Grandma died when I was 6 years old. So my memories were of a young child who, on Sundays, we would always get together. I had a lot of aunts and uncles in the neighborhood. My father grew up probably 4 doors down on Bucks Hollow Road.
Wow.
And that's exactly where Grandma and Grandpa lived. Again, Grandma was there, Grandpa had passed, but we would go Sundays and always have Grandma cooking. And she had one of the typical Italian houses where they had a summer kitchen and a winter
And a
kitchen.
winter kitchen.
Up and down.
Right, but
So-
you never used upstairs. You always
Right,
used downstairs.
always used downstairs, exactly. But it was great memories. Again, the community was much smaller then. I also went to the school when it was K through 12, but when I got to 5th grade, they built Mahopac Falls, and I went there. So-
He's a young one, Regina. He's a young lad. Very nice. So Your family, your extended family lived very close to each other?
Again, my father was one of 11. 3 had passed. 8 of them survived. We had probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them that lived in the community and all around the Bucks Hollow area.
So on Sunday morning, you would walk. Was this a dirt road here, Bucks Hollow Road?
Yes.
Or it was a dirt road. So you would walk this road, and you would smell different sauces all over the place. I would imagine.
Exactly, and it was all kinds of family here. And as I said, I am one of 17 boys in my generation. So when the cousins got together, and we're all about the same age, poor Grandma had her hands full. But we also could eat, and that was the great thing about Grandma. She could cook, we would eat.
She would take care of you.
Oh, yep.
I'm sure you took care of her.
Yep.
That's wonderful. What challenges did these people have in the early years? I mean, they came here in Mahopac 100 years ago. I'm sure Mahopac was very different 100 years ago. What were the challenges from your viewpoint that they had?
Well, again, as Regina said, in my family, my grandfather was a builder. My father continued to be a builder, as he grew up and got back from the service. He had a lot of masons working for him. He was a mason contractor mostly, but he had built homes. And a lot of the Italian heritage in this area worked for him as masons. The struggles they had, I mean, again, this was a much smaller community. I think this was a wonderful community to grow up in.
Still is.
I'm not exactly. I love this because I still have my kids here and my family's here. But the community was totally different back then, but it was a wonderful, everybody knew everybody. And, you know, I will tell you that in my eyes growing up, and what I heard from my father, there were not that much struggles here because the country provided a lot of opportunities for them. And again, being one of the greatest generation, they took hold of it and just grew from there. So,
are there some stories that you heard from your dad, from your mom, about your grandparents coming here early on? And I mean, they were not little kids. They were 18, 19 years old. Did they share anything with you?
You know what? I mean, I will tell you that in putting together this history, it was funny because mom and dad, especially dad, did not talk, and I had a lot of aunts that did not talk a lot about grandma and grandpa. So I didn't know about their struggles at all. I talked to my oldest cousin, who was 75 years old, and she kind of was filling me in on what she would remember. And as it said, grandma lived off the land, but you'd never know she was poor.
Yeah.
And grandpa, as I said, was a builder. He also took advantage of this country and blossomed.
Yeah. I guess what's intriguing for both of your stories, Regina and Mike, is these people came here empty-handed, and they saw all these opportunities, and they did not ask for a handout. They just went out there. They went full speed ahead. You know, did not hesitate one bit to just take the bull by the horns and make something of themselves, start businesses, send their kids to school to become even better than they were through education. So to be lauded, to be praised, really to be praised. Anything that you continue today as far as traditions?
Well, again, I will thank them because I think they gave us the opportunity and also, you know, the education and knowledge to be leaders and to go out and get into positions where you had to help and lead people. So I think it's a tremendous legacy they left us.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct, Regina and Mike. I think your spirit of volunteerism, you take the bull by the horns, you get out there and you do things. You help people, like the same way that they went out there and took advantage of the opportunities and gave back to America by building it, you know? So I congratulate both of you, Mike. Congratulations.
Thank you,
I know you represent us well. Thank you very much to both our Grand Marshals. And now I want to move on to our honorary Grand Marshal, Angelo Pugliese. He's one of our honorary Grand Marshal. Angelo was born in the Bronx in 1951. He's a young guy. Both parents came from San Basilio Cosenza, Calabria.
Correct.
Ah, that beautiful region of Italy, still unspoiled.
Well, a lot of farms there.
A lot of farms. Angelo attended Holy Rosary School. After that, he went to Columbus High School, graduated in 1969. In 1975, he completed college at Iona College. He has a degree in political science and behavioral science. Better behave myself here.
I can understand you.
Hobbies. Angelo has a hobby that could be very expensive, but he enjoys. He owns 5 vintage cars,
Yes, I do.
which I know this year will all be in the big parade on September
I
30th.
bring one every year to one of you.
I know you do, but this year you're going to bring
I
5.
can't bring 5. I can only drive one at a time.
That's all right. You'll get drivers. He gets into mechanics. He loves to travel, especially where there are beaches. He loves beaches.
Yes.
You do love beaches.
My wife and I like to go to Aruba a lot.
Aruba. Aha. I'm told that they have beautiful beaches there. A little bit of what Angelo did in his career, since he retired, but he's never been retired. He served on the Yonkers Police as a cadet in 1969. In 1971, he became a full-fledged officer. And then in 1981, he was promoted to detective in the narcotics division. I'm sure you scared a lot of those bums.
They weren't all bums. Some of them were nice people.
Some of them were nice.
had problems.
The narcotics people I'm talking
Yeah,
about. In 1995, he decided, all right, I'm going to retire. But I think he stayed home 1 or 2 days, and then he said, oh, I'm tired of this. He started a business. His business is Sports Tech Construction Company, right?
Sport Tech.
Sport Tech Construction Company. And they build tennis courts, running tracks, turf fields, basketball courts.
Anything sports-wise, recreational, that's outside, we could build those. We work for a lot of municipalities and towns. Actually, we're going to do a job for the town at Sycamore Park at the end of August. We got that job.
Very nice. So you'll be our employee as taxpayers.
Yeah, I guess so.
Very nice. Make sure you do a good job.
It's my son's business now, but I'm sort of semi-retired, but I still work.
But we're going to be looking to see what kind of job you're going to
Come to
do.
the park anytime you want.
Angela's been married to Debbie for 43 years. That's long. That's very nice. What's the secret there?
Just compassion, put up with each other, and you have to adjust to things sometimes. You know.
You have to
It's
adjust.
not always rosy.
And what do you do when you get angry? You go play golf or something, or you go to the
No,
beach?
I
Or?
don't golf. I just go play with my cars.
With the vintage cars. He has 2 sons, Eric and Chris, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And grandchildren? How many?
I have 1 grandchildren, Marco. He's going to be 4.
He's going to be 4, Marco. Angelo is a member of the Italian American Club, and he helps us to do a number of things here at the club as well. Angelo, you were born in the Bronx, in Little Italy. Where were you born?
No, not little. Eastchester Road.
Eastchester
Cullen
Road. I know it well.
Park. Yeah, very nice neighborhood.
I lived on Seymour Avenue in Eastchester
Oh,
Road.
yeah, not far away.
Yeah.
Couple blocks.
Okay.
Firehouse, you were near the-
Yeah, I know it well. What was life like for you growing up there in the
Well,
50s?
it was nice growing up there. It was a nice part of the Bronx. You know, it wasn't bad. Everybody worked, and you know, we always had a lot to do growing up as kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about the farms in Mayapack, where Mike grew up in Regina, but we had little farms in the back of our house.
That's right.
Because our parents were always growing things.
Sure.
And then actually we had a farm a block away. The Capolas had a farm, if you remember that.
On Eastchester Road.
Eastchester Road,
Yeah,
right
there was a
behind
big
it.
plot of land there. I
Yeah.
remember it well. When we came from Italy, my family and I, we lived on near Arthur Avenue, Camberling Avenue, 189th Street, and these were, it was all concrete and buildings, and we came from a small farm in Italy, a lot of green, a lot of dirt, and my father said after a while, "What are we doing here?" So after 4 years, he said, "No, we got to get out of here." So we bought a house in near Eastchester Road,
So you went east.
and
You went
he
east.
did have his little farm in the back, where he grew more food than he can handle. I think he was feeding half of the Bronx with what he grew back there. He made his wine and all that. So it was not for him to stay in a building in concrete. So I can identify. Now, on Eastchester Road, there's a big Italian contingent. During the 50s, I'm sure, there were lots of
A
Italians.
lot of Italians there.
Okay.
And a lot of paisans were the whole neighborhood was all friends and relatives. We used to go there on Sundays. Everybody would meet. Now it's a
In
little
each other's
different.
houses?
Yeah, we'd go to each other. When we were kids, the cousins would go to each other's houses, and Sundays we'd eat. The same deal as up here.
Well,
But now that changed a little bit. Everybody's sort
Well,
of going a different direction.
yeah, we spread out a little bit more. But, even though, we spread out a little bit more here, we still get together, My family, for one, we still get together.
On
heavily.
Sundays?
On Sundays sometimes, yeah. My immediate family, my kids, we usually get together very often on Sundays. But it's still important to us to keep those traditions. Is it important to you, to your kids, to keep those
Well,
traditions?
we try to do it, but everybody's sort of spread out. One of my sisters in South Carolina. My brother's in Mapac. We get together now and then.
That's nice. What about holidays? What do you guys try to keep some traditions?
Well, when my mother was alive, we always did. That was the meeting place. But she passed away maybe 10 years ago now. So
Was she
things
still
sorta
in the
calmed
Bronx,
down.
or?
No, she lived in Putnam Valley with my
Putnam Valley.
sister.
Okay. And it was,
And in Mapac also, right?
and you went to your mother's house,
We
and
always went there, all the holidays.
so everything kind of centered at mom's house,
Yeah,
and,
and she'd cook and we'd eat, same thing.
when you were in the Bronx, did they have any Italian American associations, any kind of clubs that you belonged
We
to?
belonged to this, they called it the San Basil Society.
Okay.
All my father's paisans were from there, so we were kids, they'd have parties there. It was on Allington Avenue, I think.
Yeah.
And we'd have parties there and dances and picnics.
So not many. You didn't have to find many reasons to get together and have parties.
No,
right?
they just get together all the time.
They just had parties. What are you proud of as an Italian American? What makes you proud?
Well, I try to keep the heritage going a little bit because both my parents were born there. They came here and they always worked hard. They instilled us with sort of good character, work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what we learned from our parents, and we try to give it to our kids. And I think we're doing a good job. My son has a house. He has my business. My other son is a union operator in 137. So basically, they're set for now, and everything's good.
So they're hardworking people,
Yeah.
just like your parents were with that mentality.
Everybody always worked.
Have you been back to Italy?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
No. My wife wants to go to Greece. I want to go to Italy. So
Well, they're not far away from each
They're
other.
close.
Especially from Calabria to Greece. You could
It's a
practically
short
walk
walk.
across the Ionic Sea and be in Greece. So I mean, we could talk about it, how you do it, but it wouldn't be bad.
Well, I want to go to the Amalfi Coast.
Oh,
That's
the
what I heard.
the
That's
Amalfi
supposed to
Coast
be
is
real
on the
nice,
other
or
side,
whatever
but
it is.
that's okay.
It's supposed to be
Hey,
nice.
there are some beautiful beaches in Calabria,
are
very beautiful on the Adriatic side, very beautiful. Amalfi Coast, nice, beautiful, but Calabria has some nice places too. So we are happy to have you as one of our honorary Grand Marshals. Congratulations.
All right.
And
Thank
we
you
look
for
forward to
having me.
having you in the parade and all the other events that we do.
All right, thank you, Julie.
Now, let's go to my far right here and meet our other honorary Grand Marshal, Salvatore Pascarella. Sono io. Lots of vowels in those names, eh? And we love that. Salvatore, born in 1936 in Cervina, provincia di Caserta. Caserta is a province in the Campania region. Son of Vincenzo and Anna. He's the youngest of 7 children. I suoi genitori. Siete 7, vero? 7,
Sì, 5 maschi e 2 femmine.
e 2 femmine.
2 sono ancora viventi.
Bravo, auguri. Salvatore went up to the 5th grade in Italy, and then he left school to learn shoemaking, the shoemaking trade, which was a great trade back then. At 9 years old, he knew how to make shoes by hand. Can you imagine that he was an artist? At 14, he started making shoes with machines.
No, at 14, my father sent it to me for 2 years, to learn how to play in a factory, on a machine. And I was a worker for the 80 years.
From 8 years old.
Yeah, no, for 80 years I worked in a factory before I came in this country when I met my wife.
Okay. Now, Salvatore, how long would it take to make you a pair of shoes by hand?
One day.
One day. Già la miseria. One day.
It's a loss of trade. Nobody knows.
Nobody did that. No, they don't make shoes now. It probably would charge you about $3,000 to make a pair of shoes by hand today. Hobbies Salvatore has. He loves to play bocce. He's in the bocce tournament. He's a terrific competitor.
Not just a botch.
Just bocce. He loves homemade wine. He makes his own wine. He jars tomatoes. He's a very great gardener. He grows a lot of different...
The gardener, that's not my job.
No,
I just learn when I'm retired now.
Ah, okay.
It's only 2 years ago, I started to the young.
So you're a young gardener.
No, that's enough for me.
He loves to play racquetball. Listen to him, pickleball, and he likes to play a few card games, poker, and stopa, an Italian game.
Any kind of the Italian game.
Any kind of Italian. Scopa, tresette, briscola.
Everything.
So, as we said, he was a shoemaker in Italy. When he arrived to America, he became a pressman. He was pressing clothes in a cleaner's.
Well, I learned a different trade, because my wife, their cousin was in the cleaner business.
Okay.
And I learned, I was working for 10 years, and after 10 years, I went on my own.
Yeah, 1976, you decided,
In 1976.
enough of this.
Yeah, that's the first.
And what business did you start?
Dry cleaner business.
What's the name of it? Still today?
Sal Cleaner.
Sal's
My
Cleaners.
sonny owned it.
Yeah. That's where? That's on a little bit of advertising here.
Mayopac Village Center.
Mayopac Village Center.
Sal
Okay.
Cleaner, yes.
In 2017, Salvatore and his wife retired. Let's talk a little bit about family. He fell in love with Raffaella through a picture. Can you imagine this? What a love story. He saw a picture of Raffaella, the sister of a good friend of his, who was in America. So Raffaella, he fell in love with this picture that his friend showed him, and they began to correspond with each other for how many years?
Well, we ride, for 2 years.
2 years.
And after 2 years, my wife, she came over. We both like it together. That's why I'm here.
Oh, boy.
All of my
After
family
2
was
years
here.
of writing to each other, love letters. You still have those love letters?
Excuse me?
You still have the love letters?
Oh, yeah.
You do? We want to read them. You got to bring it to the club. We want to read them.
Next time with that.
All right. In 1963, they were married in Italy. And finally, in 1963, Raffaella met him in Italy. In 64, they were married. All right. They have 2 children, Anna and Vincenzo. Okay. 4 grandchildren.
Correct.
And they are your life, right?
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Salvatore is a very active member of the Italian American Club, and he helps us with a number of things here at the club. And again, I say he's a very, very competitive bocce player. So you don't go against Salvatore because he knows how to play. The pallino, he throws that ball and goes to kiss the pallino. I have no idea how. Salvatore, what was life like for you over here when you came?
Wow.
Com'era la vita per te?
La vita era...
Metti più vicino a me.
There was in Christmas time. Yeah, there was the 23, I remember the date. There was December 23, 63. That's when I came. So I left Italy, there was a beautiful weather. When I came in this country, I thought I was in Siberia. Yeah, because I saw all the weather. There was, in Naples, you never see.
No, in Naples you don't see snow.
So that's what happened, I said, geez, I'm going to Siberia over here. That's the America.
How old were you?
Now, over then.
Over then?
Then I was 26
When you came?
when I came.
Yeah.
Yes. Now I'm 81 to go 82.
Did you say 18?
Yeah.
18 years old you are now?
I wish.
I wish.
Yeah, that's my story.
So you saw all this snow and you very strange.
And then my brother-in-law that came to pick me up, with my wife and my sister-in-law. That was my first experience in America. To go home, I never forget it. All of the snow, like I said, because I never saw before. And that's what happened. I came over here, and see, in Italy, I have the license already, for the drive the car. Talk about a long time ago. So when I came over here, I started working for the Clementis, and I work. Where I used to live, there was the dry clean right over there, And I started work after 1 week. I came from Italy, and I worked for them for 10 years, And after 10 years, I went on my own.
Good for you.
Yeah.
What were the challenges for you? What did you find difficult?
No, I like the America. Like the first day I came over here, and I came, I say whatever I try to do, I do. Like I say, in Italy, I used to have a beautiful job. I used to run at the factory, But when I came over here, actually there was no factory for the shoes around here. So, and I started working for, like I said, for the Clementis. Mm-hmm. After 10 years, I learned everything, about the cleaner business. And in 1976, I opened my first business.
Was language difficult for you? Because you were...
Even today, it's...
No, you do very well. You speak very well.
No, I got to thank to my wife, because she's speaking good English. And I never learned the English because of her. I really appreciate it, guys.
But don't forget, you speak two languages. You speak Italian and you speak English. Okay? So a lot of us can speak maybe one.
No,
so.
See, because my family, there was in Italy, maybe I went back 50 times in Italy.
You did?
I used to go 2 times a year. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, because, like I say, all of my family, that's all in Italy. I'm the only one here.
Very nice.
Well, if we go back years ago, my mother, she came from America. See, we're talking about the 1800s.
Uh-huh.
See, my mother, she was 1 year old when my grandfather, they went back in Italy. He was a smart man on my mother's side. What he did, he made some money over here. He went back in Italy and he bought a lot of property.
Uh-huh.
He bought a lot of property, and he was one of the rich men in Italy. We're talking about anything else.
So was he an American citizen, or so? Were you an American citizen when you came here?
No. My mother, she was born in Italy.
Okay.
Back in Italy, and my grandfather was somewhere in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
That's what they went years ago.
Yeah.
So there was a destiny that come to me in America. What can I say?
Well, that picture that you saw of your future wife did it all.
No, I'm very happy. Like I say, the first day I came over here, I liked the America.
Except for the snow. Except for the snow.
Yeah.
Salvatore, tell me, what does it mean for you to be an Italian American in today?
What do you mean?
What does it make you feel? How does it make you feel to be an Italian American?
I consider myself in America, because now you create a family over here. See, I have 2 beautiful children, 4 grandchildren, and we are very lucky. See, my son, he took over the clean, the cleaning business, and my daughter, unfortunately, she went in Texas. They have 2 children. She's in the real estate business. Mm-hmm. Both of my children went to college, school, they have educator, which I don't have, but it's my fault. Because my father, when I was young, he said, what do you want to do? You want to go to school, or you want to trade, you want to learn
A trade.
So I prefer to learn the trade. That's why I consider my father a very smart man. Mm-hmm. Because at that time, he used to read the La Domenica del Corriere.
Yeah.
And he see in his head their future. They say, they should make a by hand, they don't do anything. So they say, let me send them. I went for 2 years to Santa Maria Vico. I learned how to work on the machine.
In the machines, yeah.
And after 2 years, I used to run the factory. Yeah. See, when I came in this country, I have a beautiful job. Yeah.
But you had a business mind. You had a business mind,
yeah,
so you started your own business.
See, over here, I don't dare too bad because I opened it up, one in Melpec, one in Yorktown, one in Brewster, and the one there was where there was Cold Spring, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the American dream right there. We talked about, what did the older folks do? Here's what they did. They did exactly what he did. The American dream. That's what Salvador is all about.
That's correct.
Okay? He saw the need, he started a business, then he made money, he started more business, and the rest is history. Salvatore, auguri.
Grazie, grazie per l'onore che mi avete dato.
Onore nostro, onore nostro. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very proud, so very proud of these Americans of Italian heritage, especially during these very difficult times for our country and for the world. We appreciate these proud and great contributors to our community and to our country. To the Marshals, I say thank you, congratulations. You are true role models for us. Thank you for being who you are, for having contributed so much to our heritage and to the entire community. We'll take a short break and we will be right back.